we need to define some words. I call these the 3 M words: meteoroid, meteor, and meteorite. In general, the media get these all mixed up. I subscribe to a couple of popular science magazines. They screw it up all the time. They talk about a meteor when they meant a meteorite. They talk about a meteor when they meant a meteoroid, and so on and so forth. So when I've done this vocabulary bit, you never again will make the mistake. A meteoroid is a small asteroid. That's a name you probably already know. An asteroid, a rock in space, mostly refers to rocks in our own solar system, too small to be planets, and for the most part smaller than any of the moons as well. So a meteoroid then is an asteroid with a diameter of less than 50 meters. Some books you look at will use 10 meters or 5 meters or 20 meters, but the definition is 50 meters. But they can be as small as a grain of dust or as large as 50 meters and still be a meteoroid. In the lifespan of anybody living on the planet today, nothing larger than this, or nothing even about a third this size, has come into our atmosphere. But in the past, because the bigger they are, the more rare they are, so the big ones have all been in the past. There's a picture here of an asteroid taken by a spacecraft, an unmanned spacecraft sent out just to do that, photograph asteroids. This one is 60 kilometers long. So to get a meteoroid out of this, we would just use, knock a small bit off this up here, and that small bits like that they keep coming in all the time. As we say, hardly a week goes by without at least one of these blowing up in our atmosphere. Meteor. A meteor is not an object. A meteor is an effect in the atmosphere caused by an incoming meteoroid. There are 2 things involved here. First, the air gets hot due to friction and glows. The friction itself causes the surface of the meteoroid to melt, and thus it glows too. Here we see a small meteoroid, probably just the size of a grain of sand as it came in, and it completely, find the darn thing, it completely melted up while it was still 60 or 70 kilometers up. To get an idea of the sizes, a meteoroid the size of a football will make a meteor the size of the football stadium. In that way, a meteoroid the size of a small car can be seen as a meteor all the way from Winnipeg, say it comes in over Saskatoon. You'd see it in Winnipeg, you'd see it in Edmonton. All the observed meteors, that is anything that anyone alive today or in the past who made descriptions of such things, all these meteors have been meteoroids that either burned up, they did not really burn. Again, this is a media thing to say they burned up, they melt away in the atmosphere, or, if they're big enough, explode. Tiny ones may be called shooting stars, as we saw in the last slide, and most of those are related to the tails of past comets. Many explode and produce fireballs, the largest of which are called bolides. And it's a bolide that could be seen, a good bolide would be seen for several hundred kilometers. In 2008, a bolide appeared just on the east side of Lloydminster. That other thing here is just a reflection off the clouds. But it exploded here at about 15 kilometers above the ground. It mostly vaporized when it did, but some particles did fall to the ground as Buzzard-Cooley meteorites. Now, the meteorites that explode, like the Buzzard-Cooley one, are partly to totally vaporized. And most of the incoming events I talked about, this sort of more or less one a week or so, these mostly totally vaporize. Only a few of them, perhaps 6 or 7 a year, actually don't totally vaporize, but leave some larger fragments that might land as meteorite fragments. Okay, and then the final M word, meteorite. Material from a meteoroid that makes it to the ground surface, such as this 500 gram piece of Buzzard-Cooley. The individual pieces are called meteorite fragments, although we often get sloppy and just call them meteorites. But really the word meteorite refers to the whole collection of fragments that are left over from that meteoroid. Meteorite fragments can range in size from microscopic to over 100 tons. Here's one here that's 14 tons weight.